And the fourth module, what we will look at is we look at the business case, how to transform the overall HOMER findings into a presentable business case for your CTO, CFO, or your board. So now what we did is we created, so this is a sample file that we got from one of the network operators in Central Asia. And what we usually do in our Excel business case, we have 5 different tabs: summary, additional capex, renewable solution, existing solution, and business case summary. Summary indicates the overall summary of the solution, where you describe the site load, what is the solution considered, and then you also look at what solution you have identified, what are the cost of solution. You summarize the environmental indicator, that means how much GHG emission you have saved you will be saving by installing these equipments or this solution. And then of course the financial indicators, like what is the payback period, return of investment, internal return rate, and so on and so forth. So these are the 4 areas which goes to 4 different departments and 4 different aspects. Look at the technical aspects. Technical part, it goes to your technical team. CTOs wants to look at technically whether it's feasible or not. Of course, he wants to look at the financial elements, but financial elements is core interest from the CFO. So he wants to know what is the return of investment, what sort of IRR is given is there. Then at the same time, you have a marketing and CSR team who wants to look at the environmental indicators. So we have environmental figures here as well. So we'll bring the value, what sort of carbon dioxide emission has been saved by, may be saved by installing these solutions. So these are the main 3 areas that we usually show at the summary report, and you can easily do it. How? Now, the solution, you're taking it from HOMER. Overall solution, number 1. Number 2, the payback period, once you are done with your solution picking up and copying the cash flow at the HOMER, and you paste it here, renewable solution. You know, it's the same thing that you saw it at the HOMER, the PV, diesel, genset, battery, so on and so forth, and you just copied and pasted it for a 10 years business case. And then this additional capex part, where we have already considered this additional capex into a fixed capital cost. If we haven't done that there, we could have done it here in fixed additional capex part. And then this plus this is already, there is additional capex per renewable solution plus renewable solution is already talking about the overall cash flow for your project for 10 years. And then what you were doing is you were comparing that with existing diesel solution. What we have done is we have taken the snapshot from the existing diesel solution. Like, what is the current replacement cost? What is the current replacement cost for battery? What is the cost of diesel genset? What is the cost of diesel delivery? And then how frequently you have to overhaul your diesel genset. So we have considered all these different factors for 10 years period, and we have taken all the financial values and put it here. So eventually, we now have existing solution cost and previous solution cost, or diesel solution cost, and making a comparison into a business case summary. So what we have done is we have taken the snapshot from existing solution net cash flow and renewable solution net cash flow. And we got a net difference, and from the net difference, you can actually bring your NPV, IRR, return of investment, all the financial factors. Easy. And then eventually, this is a Excel sheet where all this data are connected. So once you have done copy and paste in this field, automatically the overall summary gets updated, and you get this nice values for your CFO. Payback period, return of investment, NPV, capex, average OPEX reduction, all these things comes automatically. And remember, there is an emission tab at HOMER where the emission tab is suggesting what is the current emission by installing this equipment. So bring that value from there and put it here, and the environmental indicator gives a very good picture. So eventually you get a now presentable summary sheet which has good data for your CTO, CEO, and CMO, or whoever is the head of CSR. So you do it for one site, and then you do it for your cluster of sites, then you do it for entire network, and eventually altogether it's a network-wide deployment scenario snapshot. Now, we have been doing a feasibility study for network operators. In the past 3.5 years, we have done network audit and feasibility, green feasibility for about more than 32 operators in 29 countries. These are the things that we have come up with from experience dealing with multiple situations. And we know for sure that individual site selection, individual site identification, site dimension, is the first step of identifying, it's the first step of going closer to the green. The second step is you have to really look at the financial point of view and see how to get a priority listing. That means, let's say you have 2,000 sites in your network. Out of 2,000 sites, can you go for implementation for all 2,000 sites? No. So even, let's consider out of 2,000 sites, 1,000 sites is feasible for a green solution or hybrid solution, DG battery hybrid. Then you have to come up with a priority listing. So priority A is next 500 site or 200 site is a priority 1, and priority 1 needs this much of investment. Priority 2 sites needs this much of investment, so that the CFO gets a bit flexibility of not only bringing the investment, but also looking at the maximum utilization point of view, the investment, how feasibly the investment is making onto the ground. So I think it is very critical if you want to go for that level of detailing or that level of holistic sort of identification. It's important that you go for site-wise or cluster-wise, and then bring the solution, bring the business case individual site, and then compile this together. So this is a very high level sort of one sample business case end to end, from identifying the site, identifying the solution, in inputting doing the specification, inputting the data, then doing the computation, identifying the right solution, going into the detail of the solution, and then identifying the business case. So this is one of the sample example. Now, 5 o'clock, we're actually literally done for today's session. But before we end today's session, what we will do is we will go for a little bit another small model, complex model, so that you get a better idea. If it is not solar, how we can do some other kind of thing. Like, can we do it like solar wind? Can we go for grid inclusion? So grid inclusion is a little bit tricky, so we probably have to do it offline if you are interested to. But let's bring another small quick example for another site where the site has a different specification. If you have any specific requirement or maybe idea, you can let me know if there's any sort of environment that you want to bring. Anything? Or we should conclude it here. Anything? Lee? Steven? No? Good? I mean, good? Good? Satish? Good? All right. I think that is it for today then. So what we learned today is we learned basically how to start off using HOMER. Now, this is a very fantastic tool. What you have to do is you have to go back to your desk and try using it. And then if you use it for 2 sites, then 5 sites, and then 100 sites, then you will realize how efficient it is. I can bring hundreds of references where the operators and tower company are using it and getting good result. It's just you have to be careful of while selecting the equipments, components, and site's current environment.